Hello dear learners, I, Ms. Shubhangi Patil, lecturer Facilities Krishna College of Pharmacy Karad, welcome you all in this module of Forms of Business Organization. In this module we are going to discuss about joint stock company and cooperative society. So after completion of this module you will be able to explain the concept of joint stock company and cooperative society, state the meaning and characteristics of this business organization, identify the merits and limitations of this business organization, and describe different types of company. Joint stock company. What is mean by joint stock company? It is a company which is governed by the Company Act and it has to follow various provisions of the Act. Hence, the company form of organization has to comply with various statutory requirements. As we all know that the needs of the modern industry and commerce are growing day by day, and these growing needs could not be met by the sole proprietorship or partnership, so that we can say the joint stock company is a better option to fulfill the growing needs of modern industry as well as commerce. Let's have a look on salient features of joint stock company. Joint stock company, it is an incorporated association and it comes into existence after registration under Company Act 1956. So that we can say for the existence registration is compulsory. Next feature is about shareholders or members. Shareholders or members are the owners of the company and the company is managed or the business activity are managed by the board of directors who are elected by the members or shareholders in the general body meeting of the company. Also, the joint stock company is able to collect large capital resources as they attract a wide range of investors by giving them the option to invest small or large sums as they desire. Because of having ability to collect large capital resources, they can grow on the large scale also, or the company can expand on large scale also. The shareholders is always free to withdraw from the membership of a company by transferring his shares. The liability of the members of a joint stock company is limited to the unpaid value of shares held by them. A company is a legal person, hence only a law can bring it to an end. Its life does not depend on the life of its members. The shares of a company may change several hands on the stock exchange, but the life of the company remains unaffected by such changes. Also, a company, not being a natural person, cannot sign documents for itself. The common seal with the name of the company engraved on it is therefore used as a substitute for its signature. This is all about salient features of joint stock company. Now, let's see the merits or advantages of joint stock company. We have already discussed about the company is able to collect the large capital resources as they have a ability to attract a wide range of investors by giving them option to invest small or large sum as they desire. Effective management. Since a company has large capital resources, they can appoint well qualified and experienced persons to run its business. So the effective management helps the company to earn maximum profit. The shares of the company can be transferred without any difficulty. Moreover, the facility of easy convertibility of shares into cash serves as an incentive to the investors. The management of the company is conducted on the principle of democracy. The company is managed by directors who are elected by the shareholders or the members, and the major policy decisions are taken by the shareholders. Also, the directors have only to work within the framework of those decisions. The liabilities of the members of a company is limited to the nominal value of the shares held by them. Also, there is reduction in the risk for each members because it is diffused and spread over several members of the company. Continuity of the business. The joint stock company enjoys perpetual succession as the insolvency, insanity or death of its member has no effect on the existence of the company. Demerits or disadvantages of joint stock company. It is the formation of a company is very costly Also, it is very time consuming because there are number of formalities which are required to be compiled with. So it may require lots of cost as well as lots of time also. It is not difficult for an next disadvantage is about the lack of decision. The company cannot take prompt decisions because of the time lag between board meetings and the difficulty of getting the requisite quorum. Control of management. Sometimes bogus companies are floated to cheat the investors of their hard-earned money. In this case, the secrecy of the business affairs may not be maintained because the every issue is going to be discussed in the board meetings, so that secrecy of the business affairs may not be maintained. Next disadvantage is exploitation of the consumers. In this we can say the joint stock company, when run on a large scale, may gain exclusive control over production or distribution of a commodity. This may lead to exploitation of the consumers by way of excessive pricing as well as poor quality of the goods. Now let's have a look on types of company. There are various types of company depending on various points of view. So first is from the point of view of incorporation. They are sub-classified into companies incorporated under special chapter. Such a kind of companies are not exist in the India. Second type is companies established by a special act of Parliament. Such a kind of companies are known as statutory companies, and the examples are LIC of India, Industrial Financial Corporation, Air India, etc. Third is companies incorporated under the provisions of Company Act. Such kind of companies are known as registered companies. Second classification is from the point of view of liability. They are sub-classified into companies with unlimited liabilities, companies with limited liabilities by guarantee, and companies with limited liabilities by shares. Third classification is from the point of view of nationality. In that first, national companies, the companies who operate within the boundary of the country, and second, multinational, those the companies which operate between the boundaries of the country. And last classification is from the point of view of public interest. They are sub-classified into private company, public company, and government company. From the point of view of examination, this point is very important, as the question is asking on difference between private company and public company. So what is meant by private company? A company which is run by a minimum of 2 members or by maximum up to 50 members. They does not allow public subscription to its shares, and it also restricts the transfer of its shares. Such a kind of companies are known as private company. It combines in itself the advantage of limited liability with the facilities of the partnership organization. For this reason, it is preferred by many businessmen. At the same time, a private company is not as a suitable form of business organization as a partnership, because the firm will have to pay higher income tax as compared to partnership organization. Public company. A company which can be formed by a minimum of 7 members, and there is no maximum limit on its members, which offers its shares to the public with a view to collect large sum of money to finance its projects, and also does not restrict the right of its members to transfer their shares freely. Such a kind of companies are known as public companies. And third is government company. The company is known as government company when at least 51% of its share capital is held by the central government, state government, or jointly by the central and state government. Now let's have a look on cooperative societies. What is meant by cooperative societies? Cooperative organization is a voluntary association of persons who are financially strong. They came together with an aim not to get profit but to overcome this stability arising out of want of adequate financial resources. Silent features of cooperative society. Cooperative society is a voluntary association which is made by association of persons and not of capital. For the existence of cooperative societies, we need to done registration under Cooperative Society Act 1912. Means without the registration, the company cannot come into existence. Third feature is about management committee. The management of the business affairs of the society is in the hands of the managing committee, which is elected by the members or shareholders. The board policies are framed by the members and the management committee is required to perform its duties within its parameters. Next feature, non-transferable shares. The shares of the society cannot be transferred by the members to others. In case a member wants to withdraw his capital, he has to return the shares. In a cooperative society, distribution of profit is not related to the share capital contributed by each member. The main criteria for the distribution of profit is the value or volume of business transferred by each member with the cooperative society. That is, even with a small capital contribution, a member can receive a relatively large share in the profit if he has had a large number of business transactions with the society. Cooperative society conduct business on cash basis and they do not allow credit facilities. The surplus at the end of year is not distributed as dividend among the shareholders in the proportion to the share capital invested in the cooperative society. The share capital is treated as a loan capital on which a moderate rate of interest is allowed out of net surplus. From this, some portion of the balance sheet is utilized for the general benefit of the members. Some portion is paid as a bonus to the employees and the workers, and the rest of net surplus is distributed among the members in proportion to their individual purchases from the society. Let's see the merits or advantages of this society. First advantage is it is an voluntary association. There are very few legal requirements which are needed for the registration or for the existence of this cooperative society. The management is based on the principle of one man, one vote. The liabilities of each member are very limited. Continuity of the business does not affected by the death of any member or shareholder. There is coordination among the members of a cooperative society because they belong to a local area or a particular class or a group and are inspired by the idea of cooperation. And last one is the membership of a cooperative society is open to everybody. There is no debar from joining the society on the basis of economic position, caste, color or creed. Also, there is no limit to the maximum number of the members in running the cooperative society. Now, see the demerits or disadvantages of these cooperative societies. First is there is always shortage of the capital for a cooperative society because it generally has a poor or lower middle class persons as its members. Lack of proper management. Cooperative is management by a managing committee which is elected by the members or shareholders. So they may lack the technical knowledge and experience to run an undertaking. Hence, due to lack of proper management, there is generally insufficiency in cooperation. Lack of prompt decision. Due to difference in opinion among the members, they may compete with one another to gain control over the affairs of the cooperative, which may result in adverse consequences for the business of the cooperative. There is lack of motivation among the members of the managing committee because the rate of return to the member is limited by the law. The secrecy of the business affairs may not be maintained because they are generally so much exposed to the members. The excessive state regulation and control over the functioning of the cooperative affects their working. So this is all about the disadvantages of cooperative society. Thank you and happy learning.